Hello, people. It's your boy Oster Smitty, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I will be reviewing Evil Dead Rise while having some Evil Dead video game gameplay for you. We're gonna get really started, getting straight into it. I'ma just, I was gonna give a spoiler warning, but I mean, it ain't really nothing really to like spoil. Not really. Outside of like, yeah, no, there's nothing really to spoil. So I don't really have a spoiler warning for you. But the movie is pretty much what it is. Like how you see it in the trailer is what it is. With a couple of little twists, But let me just give a brief. If you don't know what Evil Dead is originally about Ash Williams, who him and his girlfriend go into a cabin. This is the original movie. They go into their cabin and they find a book called the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead, and pretty much from there, having a tape recorder play back the words in the book, reading them out loud, a bunch of demonic and demons come in and just possess all his friends, and he has to end up killing them all, and it's just lasting him the whole night. And this goes on for the next set of movies: Evil Dead 2, Army of Dark. Well, not Army of Dark. Army of Darkness is a little different, but Evil Dead 2 mostly, the somewhat remake, and then you got the TV show, and then now we have the movie. So the Evil Dead Rise. So in Evil Dead Rise, what pretty much is pretty much just a reunion between two estranged sisters, but it gets cut short by the rise of demons, by the rise of possessing demons. Pretty much somewhat like in Evil Dead 1, but only this time it's not in a cabin. I actually like that it's not in a cabin. It's in a, what you call it, I would say kind of like an apartment building, hotel, somewhat like that. Pretty much like that. And in there, they're just meeting up, reunion, and one of the characters come across the Necronomicon. It's an earthquake. Boom, an earthquake happens. Oh, and this is somewhat spoiler warning, so an earthquake happens, and pretty much, boom, they find the Book of the Necronomicon. And then from there, it just goes straight crazy. It just goes straight to hell. I overall, with this movie, I kind of, what I was expecting from this movie was to somewhat try and be a little bit better than the last somewhat remake. I think that movie is the other one, the other remake, the 2013 version, I believe. I think that one was really good, especially since it did not use Ash Williams, and Ash Williams only really makes an appearance at the end of the movie. He doesn't come back at all in the movie. He's just a post credit scene, and then after that, we eventually would get the series to let us know that he's still alive and kicking. But um, I don't know. I thought the movie was okay. I thought the movie was okay. I saw it yesterday at 8:30. At first, when I first watched it, I thought the movie was good. I thought this could really live up to the other Evil Dead stuff, but I don't know. Waking up and letting it settle in, the movie is kind of, it's okay. It's okay. It's alright. Um, I don't. I personally don't think it's better than the 2013 version. Out of all of them, unless you like grew up in the 80s, unless you like really grew up in the 80s, I personally think that the 2013 version is the scariest. I think that one is pretty scary. Um, if we were just rating off of like fear factor and which one is scary, I would say the 2013 one has it, especially by modernizing it. So it definitely has it. But whenever you do these movies with these like new like sets of characters and we don't that aren't Ash, it's kind of I kind of understand it's a little hard to try and you gotta try and make us somewhat feel a little bit interested in them because we don't know them. With Ash, we known him for like a set of movies. He's in a bunch of movies, mostly all of them, and a TV show. So it's kind of hard. So I cut them. I give them a cut them a little slack for that. But I don't know. I just feel like the 2013 one was better. I put that one over. But I will say this movie does live up to kind of like Evil Dead 2 a little, just a little bit. I don't think it's better than Evil Dead 2, but it lives up to it just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. I would pretty much say that it keeps all the gore. There's a lot of gore, a lot of gore. You will, I almost, it's moments where I wanted to throw up, a lot of moments where I wanted to like throw up and gag. It's a lot of gore, a lot of blood, a lot of throwing up, spitting everywhere, things cause coming out of people's mouths. Like it's just a lot of mutilation. Like it's pretty, yeah. It pretty much lives up to all that goriness that we know Evil Dead is for. It has a couple of jump scares, a couple of scares, but I noticed that the way these scares are, because I noticed that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell were a part of this. That's the way some of these scares are orchestrated. A lot of people, at least in my theater, I don't know how many other theaters were. A lot of people didn't gravitate towards them that much. Because it's kind of like a real classic like scare. So there's no big dramatic music. There's not really like at certain moments. There's no big dramatic music building up a scare. It's a lot of kind of somewhat how like Jordan Peele does the scares. He kind of just does it without any like dramatics of music or anything. It just happens. But a lot of the people in my audience didn't gravitate towards that. But I thought there was some moments where the movie could generally be scary, but I just don't think it really reached that scare factor that at least the Evil Dead 1 did from in the 80s and the Evil Dead 2013 version did in 2013. I don't think it really reached those levels. But I will say it does keep its goofiness. The movie is funny. There are some hilarious moments, especially with the mother. I would definitely say the mother is the best, one of the best parts. She had her moments where she was generally terrifying and looked scary. Like she was just she would crawl on the ceiling, scream, yell, throw up, like pretty much do everything the Deadites are known for doing. Everything. Now, here's a little bit of a spoiler warning, because the trailer doesn't really show you this. It doesn't really show you this, which I kind of like that it didn't tell you that any of this is going to happen. But I kind of suspected would happen. The brother and the other little sister, the sister, not the little girl. There's three other characters outside of the girl that's, I don't remember her name. Outside the girl that's supposed to be Ash, and the three other siblings. The older brother, the older sister end up both getting possessed, and they both go wicked crazy. The older sister starts eating glass, and it's just so very uncomfortable as it slides down her throat, and then she starts spitting it out at the brother and the little girl. Like, it was just gross. And then she gets set on fire, and then they come back alive, and then just start going, trying to keep the Deadites are pretty ruthless in this, like very ruthless, very ruthless. And another somewhat spoiler, I would say, is this kind of happens if you watch the Evil Dead TV show. It kind of happens in the TV show where Ash was going up against some type of monster that was combining the other Deadites, the other Deadite people that it's been like the Deadites possess, and it creates one big hellish monster. That does happen in this movie, and it's shown in the book, and it is very disturbing looking. At least to me, I would say it looked very disturbing looking. It looked really, really, really gross. Like it just didn't look settling at all. It just looked straight up nasty. And they create this big, gigantic monster, and at the end, the main character, I think she's the main character, the main girl, the main girl of the movie. She pretty much, it's just her and the little girl left. Like it's literally just her and the little girl left by the end. She pretty much she just goes in. She just goes in and she just chainsaw, gets the shotgun. She does all this Ash demon work, all the stuff Ash would do, and just goes in and kills all of these monsters. She just goes in and kills all of the monsters, and then the really big monster at the end, she ends up killing that one. But not as cool as how Ash will probably do it, but it's the best they could do. Um, Without making her seem too much like Ash. What else? That was. It's a. I don't want to go. Well, I pretty much went really deep. I didn't want to give out everything, but I do wanted to kind of show you what the movie, tell you kind of what the movie entails, like what's going to happen. There is moments where you will be a little scared, not a lot, but there's a moment in the beginning where it's like you think you're going to kind of get like this cat, like you might get the cabin, but it's just in the beginning. It's a cute little twist that they do that I kind of like. I didn't notice it at first until someone in like one of my friends brought it up in the theater. There's a little twist at the beginning is actually the end of the movie, which is kind of when you would have to watch it in order for that to make sense. That's pretty much all I'm gonna say. Just know that the beginning is basically the end of the movie. Basically the end. But the movie pretty much has everything you would expect from an Evil Dead movie. It has pretty much everything you will want, everything you expect. Has the blood, once again has the blood, the gore, the acting. I mean, Bruce Campbell was pretty like especially in Evil Dead 2, since he was mostly by himself for a majority of the movie. It was pretty. The acting in this movie was pretty. It was alright. It wasn't. I wouldn't say spectacular, but it was alright. There was some funny moments. There were some moments that I was like, oh, that could be better. But overall, it was okay. It was okay. Um, the movie is somewhat entertaining. I do feel like there are moments in this movie where I feel like you would have to like Evil Dead in order to enjoy this movie. I feel like there are certain moments where it's like, if you're not a big Evil Dead fan, or you never like heard of the franchise, or never like actually like watched one of his movies before, you probably won't, gravitate really towards this movie. I feel like there are moments where it's like this movie is fresh. It feels like something different, something new. You don't need to watch Evil Dead 1 through 3 and then watch the series and the 23. You don't need to do that. There are moments like that, don't get me wrong, but it just feels mostly like you kind of gotta like Evil Dead in order to like these movies. Because there was some moments where people was a little bit falling asleep because the movie isn't the tradition, what we usually get from horror movies nowadays, which is a big bunch of jump scares, a lot of CGI monsters running around. Like this isn't this isn't going to really be like in something like Insidious, like a new movie that's about to come out, a movie that they're about to, the Red Door. It's not going to be nothing like Insidious or The Conjuring. You ain't going to get nothing really like that. You're going to get more like the Poltergeist, somewhat like the Poltergeist, a little bit more like The Exorcist, like stuff like that. Those types of movies. And I mean, it work. It's not. It's not bad. I still think the movie over. I still think the movie accomplishes what it's meant to do. I don't think the movie is bad whatsoever. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's terrible. I did notice that the movie did go from 100% to a 96, and now it is a 84% on. It is now at 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. So the movie did, for critics at least, it did drop a little bit. So that I can see is kind of a little mixed. I do think the movie. I think the ratings for the movie and what the critics overall say is accurate. Like, it's an Evil Dead movie. Expect Evil Dead stuff. Expect goofiness. Expect a little bit of horror. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna have an overall fun time. If I was to rate this movie, um, if I was to rate this movie, I would probably, if I was just going full fanboy and just turn on Evil Dead because I love the Evil Dead franchise, I love the game, I love all the movies. I probably would give it like an 8 out of 10, like an 8, 9 out of 10 flat. But I'm gonna turn that off. I'm not gonna turn like my critic brain on. I'm gonna just kind of like just as a normal person, like a normal like person, I would probably like catch. I would probably give it like a 7, like a 6, like a 7.5. We'll give it like a 7.5 out of 10. It's not bad. It has its moments. It has its ups and downs. It could be a little better. I do still think that the 2013 version is better though. Once again, I think that version is better. I would prefer that version over this version. I think that version is way more scarier. It has way more things that are it has way more disturbing moments and way more gross moments than this movie. This movie has some things, but not as much. And Mia in that movie was terrifying, and she at the end when she uses the way she uses the chainsaw, I like it way more than how the new girl uses hers. I don't even remember their names, but I remember the 2013 version's characters way more. So that shows and speaks a lot of volume. If I was to rank the movies, um, let me see. If I was to rank them, Evil Dead 2 is always going to be number one. I don't think nothing will beat Evil Dead 2. Nothing is going to top Bruce Campbell in that movie. I think that if you're going based off of, like, if you're not adding in, like, oh, effects and CGI, then yeah. If you're just watching that movie and I feel like Evil Dead 2, I don't care what no one says, is always going to be the best. I think that one is number one. I think that one's going to be number one. After that, ooh. I would say Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead 1, the very first one, Evil Dead 1. Then Evil Dead, I would say, okay, Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead 1, the 2013 version, I would say I'll put that one in third. I'll put that one in third. If I'm gonna include this, even no, I'm not gonna include the series. Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead 1, 2013 Evil Dead, Evil Dead Rise, and then I'll say Army of Darkness. I personally don't. Army of Darkness, it doesn't really feel, at times it doesn't really feel like these are, except for like in the series when Ash like shows that he's lost his hand and that he mentions what happened in Army of Darkness countless times. But I mean, Army of Darkness is whatever. But yeah, that's how I would rank it. If you're including the series, then I'll probably do Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead 1, the series, then the 2013 version, then Evil Dead Rise, then Army of Darkness. That's my list. That's how I would rank. Now, do I think they should keep making Evil Dead movies or stuff for Evil Dead? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Should they? If this is supposed to be like, if they have like, if this is supposed to lead to something bigger, because in the end, I know that there's something in the end where the the Deadites are let out and they're just walking around now. So they're just free now. They're not like possessing the whole building anymore. So really, I don't know. It's called Evil Dead Rise. So I'm pretty sure like this is them rising, and then something big might happen in another movie, hopefully. So I don't know. But so far, when it comes to Evil Dead, they don't have a necessarily like terrible movie. Like none of their movies are trash or bad. Like I don't think any movie is like terrible. But there are some better than others. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to continue or they're going to make another one or if Ash is going to eventually show up again. I would like that. That would be cool. I was hearing about a series that they might be doing, and it was going to be like an animated series in Ash's voices because Bruce Campbell's getting up there in age. But I don't know if they're going to continue the movies. I would like them to. I would love more Evil Dead movies, but I would like them to get a little better, kind of get back on that 2013 and not what they did with this one. But yeah, I would definitely, I do recommend this movie. I think everyone should go and see it to give their own opinion, see how they feel about it. Is it better than the other ones? Or if you didn't watch the other ones, does this one stand with other horror movies? Just go out and form your own opinion. But I do give this one, as not trying to be a super fan and give it an 8 or not, I give it a 7.5. I think that's an accurate rating. Accurate rating. 7.5 out of 10. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for tuning in and watching me have the gameplay here for you and talking about Evil Dead Rise and what I think about the movie. I hope you enjoy. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.